Good morning. I'm Meteorologist Chita Craft. Hope everybody's doing okay on this Thursday morning. So if you went to bed early last night, you probably missed some of the latest advisories. So let me catch you up to speed. We are still dealing with a tropical depression, still basically in the central to now western portion of the Gulf of Mexico. The movement has not changed much this morning, so it's moving in a west-northwest direction around 6 miles per hour. Let me tell you why that movement is extremely important. The longer that this area of low pressure, which is what we're dealing with right now, stays in the open waters of the Gulf, the better chance that it's going to have to intensify. So at this point, even though it's a tropical depression, we are expecting this to intensify to a tropical storm status. It will take on the name Hannah. So by tomorrow, maybe early morning to midday, Friday, we will have Tropical Storm Hannah on our hands. So the latest cone of uncertainty, this is always released by the National Hurricane Center. This is the latest advisory. So still a tropical depression. It's expected to remain that way through the day today, through your Thursday. Then overnight into Friday, again, sometime Friday morning into midday, it's expected to gain strength and then become Tropical Storm Hannah. So we may still wake up tomorrow morning, 24 hours from now, not a whole lot's changed except for the westerly direction. I tell you what we have seen pretty consistent though now over the past 12 to 15 hours or so is, let's say, the landfall location, and that's closing in on Corpus Christi or areas just north of. But that does take the cone of uncertainty and takes most of our counties away from that. However, that keeps us on the eastern side. So you're going to hear a lot about over the next 24 hours how we are setting up east of the center of circulation, even though it's not expected to make direct landfall. That puts us, let's say, on the dirty side or the wet side of the system. When we talk about that, you get clockwise flow around an area of low pressure. So as it makes landfall, it's going to continue to scoop up all this Gulf moisture, this tropical moisture, and basically push it over across portions of the upper Texas coastline and then also across portions of the Louisiana coastline. So all this area, we're going to continue to monitor for some heavy rain. Right now, we do have a tropical storm watch in effect. We had that issued early, or really late last night. So it's been in effect from early this morning here. And that's going to stay in effect over the next couple of days because tropical storm force conditions are expected to happen. As far as the rain goes, it's expected to develop late tomorrow night and pretty much throughout the day on Saturday. Some of our winds could be as high as about 35 to maybe even 40 miles per hour. So that's something we're going to monitor. It's also going to increase the seas, the tides. It's going to make conditions really choppy out towards any of our coastal areas. And then, of course, inland, that's when our winds should taper down. And we really will start to see that most conditions everywhere taper down by about Sunday midday. So let's talk about what we can expect. I know we're doing live here, so if you're just tuning in now, let me catch you up to speed. We are tracking Tropical Depression number 8. If you haven't seen some of the latest advisories, we are expected to have a tropical storm by tomorrow. And basically here locally, what that means for us, some heavy rain, some rough surf, again, gusty winds up to about 35 to 40 miles per hour. As far as accumulation goes, models have been a little split. It's hard to exactly pinpoint the exact areas that will see the most amount of rain, but I can say closer to the coastline, this moisture is all moving in from the Gulf. So 2 to 5 inches of rain is expected from Friday night through Sunday midday. So that's taking a 3-day accumulation period almost into account, and then isolated amounts upwards of 8 inches of rain. So with that, that's where the areas of concern will be. Of course, high water spots will be a main threat on Saturday. So if I were you at this point as you're planning and you're trying to make your plans for the weekend, just consider Saturday. You want to hunker in, stay down. Let me show you what we're forecasting here as far as some of our model projections go. Again, as some of this may vary, of course, depending on exact location and timing, but I think this is kind of the general idea. Notice today, Thursday, a 20% chance for a shower, but that's it. Today, we're really talking heat and humidity. Closing in tomorrow as this area of low pressure, or what tomorrow is expected to be Tropical Storm Hannah on our hands. Notice all the wraparound moisture. Again, you get counterclockwise flow around an area of low pressure, and that's again what picks up all that Gulf moisture and pushes it all across portions of Louisiana and the Texas coastline. So that's why our rainfall accumulations will be on the high side, and it's probably the primary threat with some gusty winds towards the coast. Making landfall early to midday Saturday, and then once it makes landfall, it's still going to be pushing all this rain across the area. So Saturday pretty much looks like it's going to be a washout. We keep the rain chances in place on Sunday, but the amount of rain should start to taper down. Okay, so it's 7:42 on your Thursday morning. We're starting off under partly to mostly cloudy skies. Beautiful shot in Galveston. Today, there's really no threats involved. In fact, you're not going to really feel or notice any effects. You're going to be thinking a tropical storm is on its way. You're not even going to notice much of a change. A 20% chance for a shower. It's just hot, and it's really going to be humid out there as well. Radar is showing that as well. We are dry now. I'm expecting that mostly even for your afternoon. Check out your TrueView Skycast. So a stray shower is that 20% chance there, and that's it. 92 this afternoon. Feeling, or your heat index value, up to about 101, maybe even up to 103 in a few of your neighborhoods. So a hot afternoon to be expected. So we get a little bit of a break here for today, and then tomorrow, Saturday, and into early Sunday, that's when we're going to set up for the potential of some tropical downpours. So midday tomorrow, we should have a tropical storm on our hands. The heaviest rain, though, should fall mainly on Saturday. That could kind of get going overnight from Friday into Saturday, but Saturday will probably be our highest threat. The grounds will be saturated from some of the rain that pushes through on Friday afternoon and evening, and then that's when we'll start to see the setup for some of those high water spots. So again, at this point, this is not a Harvey situation. I don't want you to panic. I know how anxiety here, especially when we're talking about a tropical depression or a tropical storm on our hands, it's tough to kind of calm your mind down or settle down, especially with everything we're going through. But what I can say at this point, 2 to 5 inches of rain, I think in a lot of spots will be manageable. It's going to be these isolated areas that see these upwards of 6 or 7 or 8 inches of rain that it's going to be pretty tough. And that's where we're going to continue to monitor. We're going to update you with any advisories, any latest information that comes through. Of course, because we're live, I'll just bring you right quick back to the radar. So in case you missed this at the very beginning, let me show you some of the, I'll give you a quick rundown of some of the latest advisories, and then that way you'll kind of be armed with all the information for the day. Okay, can you believe this? I mean, now we're talking about a tropical depression, but yeah, clearly you can see it on our satellite image here. It's still fairly disorganized, but again, the main reason we're expecting that intensification, it's going to sit over the open waters a little bit longer than expected. If this could move a little bit faster, it would hopefully lose some of its steam, but it does look like, so a tropical depression at this point, moving west-northwest around 6 miles per hour. Let me see if this will update. I'll show you the latest track. Here we go, from the National Hurricane Center, in case you missed this at the very beginning. Expected to make landfall. So each one of these markers, when you see this, this is showing a timestamp. So starting, here's our tropical depression at this point. This afternoon, 1 o'clock. Friday, so you get the idea, every 12 hours. This is tomorrow morning, 1 a.m. So sometime between tomorrow morning to tomorrow midday, this would indicate 1 p.m. tomorrow, we will have a tropical storm on our hands. Now that may change just a little bit. That could happen as early as tonight, or again as late as midday tomorrow. But Tropical Storm Hannah by Friday, let's say midday, and then continuing in that westerly direction right towards the Corpus Christi, really by Saturday early to midday. Again, that time marker saying 1 o'clock. That could plus or minus just a couple of hours there. But as far as Houston goes, and even Galveston, that does put us on the eastern side, which is the really wet side of the storm. So I think our primary threat will be the amount of rain that we see Saturday. And it's not going to be everyone that sees these flooding rains, but I really want you to keep your guard up, especially during the day on Saturday, just because we will already be saturated from rain on Friday. So yeah, here is the latest advisory. If any changes happen, of course, we will let you know. We're also on continuous on TV as well with cut-ins. So post any of your questions. We will try to get to you. I know probably most of you are just wondering and thinking about how much rain we're going to see. At this point, today is your day to kind of enjoy outside. And then once that rain sets in Friday afternoon and evening, I would count on Saturday almost as a washout. I just would try to really hunker down, then you won't even have to deal with it, with most of the rain kind of winding down. Let's generally speaking, midday Sunday. So that time frame would look Friday night into Sunday morning. The last bit of headlines, let me show you here, It's just kind of the forecast, the overall thinking, because we do have that tropical storm watch. That's in effect for pretty much the entire Texas coastline. And then the main impacts, like we've been talking about, will be the heavy rain, rough surf. Again, it's not expected to make landfall basically right overhead, but it is going to create some heavy downpours and some gusty winds up to about 35 to 40 miles per hour. Again, it will be the isolated amounts upwards of 8 inches of rain. That's what we'll be monitoring, but widespread amounts 2 to 5 inches, and I want you to be prepared for some heavy downpours as we trend towards the weekend. But hope you're waking up a-okay on this Thursday. We will continue to bring you any updates once we get them in as well. And of course, we always prepare for the worst, but let's hope for the best. All right. We'll be talking soon.